Today I'm going to share with you a little bit about my path with awakening through the body in order to give you more confidence in what I'm teaching you. So I am not simply repeating to you things that I've read in a book. This is a path that I have walked and tried and tested. It has also given me much joy, and I do realize when it comes to awakening, we are all on a path of awakening. Sometimes we move closer towards the awakening, sometimes we move further away from the awakening or the truth. And the way that we know we are on the path is when through our lifetime we do experience some kind of progression of understanding and peace, or some kind of resolution to our condition as the human condition. So I'll share with you a little bit about my path. In 2018, March 2018, I had, I can say, a mild Kundalini awakening after I did a meditation on the beach. I did this meditation, the form, on the beach, and then after the meditation, I sat down on a rock. I was not looking for this. I was not trying to get this to happen at all. I was a little bit surprised by it. But what happened when I sat down on the rock is I started feeling these ripples of shakes and ripples of bliss through my body, which really felt very orgasmic and lovely. So I sat there on the beach with my body shaking, but my eyes were open. And as I looked out over the beach and the ocean, it's here in Cape Town, in Simonstown. It is a very beautiful beach, but suddenly it was like a curtain was yanked open, and the amount of brilliance that suddenly streamed into my awareness was incredible. Like the way I suddenly noticed that line on the horizon, that color, that stretch, the blue of the sky, the hues of colors in the ocean, the shapes, the ripples, the waves, like the foam, the sparkles, the shape of the waves, the rocks, the wetness on the rocks, the wetness on the sand, the shapes on the sand, like the amount of beauty that was starting to stream in was, I can say, overwhelming. It was so magnificent that it was overwhelming. It was like this curtain was yanked open and this brilliance started revealing itself. And it just became more and more and more and more and more. And something in me just realized that my consciousness is not ready to absorb this amount of brilliance. I think it's like getting a teeny weeny little bit closer to seeing the face of God. But God is another concept that we do not have to pin down to any specific religion. Okay. So something opened in me there. And since then, I've been on an incredible journey to replicate that opening of that awareness again. And the way I do it is, I've been experimenting so much. The way I do it is in nature. I focus on the pure physical feeling of my hands, my feet, my face. I've just been experimenting with so many different ways, and every now and again I get it. It's specifically when I go into a very simple state of simply focusing on my body. I keep my eyes open, and then like, ooh, this brilliance just often like shows itself to me. Nature shows itself like heaven. Heaven. Heaven shows itself. And then I'm like, oh, every time it happens. But now I'm getting my consciousness to get used to it. I'm like teaching myself to handle it. Um, Another very positive thing that happened was that I started experiencing full body orgasms, which is basically the Kundalini energy. You know, don't have to like say it's only sexual energy. It's just like this vibration of bliss through the body. So yeah, lovemaking just changes completely and becomes an absolute spiritual experience. Um, what I've started to understand is I've started looking at what is this flow of energy through my body and realizing that it's pure consciousness. So there's a certain way that I meditate into my body to understand that this is basically the void, the creator force, the void, meaning void means pure potential, the creator force around which everything shapes. Anyway, so what I find with when this happens is insight, insight, spiritual insight just whoop, whams, comes into the body without having to learn it from texts or anything. It becomes experiential. When one moves through the body, I suddenly understand what the Buddha meant when he says we become the Buddha. We feel the light, our connection as the divinity within ourselves, within our bodies. And I now get to understand how Jesus, I'm just referring to these two practices. And Jesus also said, that God energy is within us. And I believe many spiritual teachings are about us aligning to this God energy within us. So in my own life, I am starting to experience that this heaven coming to earth is manifesting through me, and that that we are part of this creator energy, creating, bringing the new earth. It's been a very satisfying path to walk. It's not always full of sunshine and roses. It does still have its challenges, but I have experienced incredible synchronicities, and specifically every time I align to sensing this vibration in my body, even when I go about my day to day, I'm starting to practice how do we align with this physical buzz in the body. And what it does is it brings me into incredible calmness and focus. I immediately notice when the mind is running forward or back and not present in the moment. And also it brings, when I'm walking around in an alignment to my physical awareness, beautiful synchronicities and surprises come across my path, which is also fascinating. And then another radical thing that happened with me was in May this year, so it's a few months ago, I did the Vipassana meditation. I am writing a book about my research on this life source, life force. And as part of my research, it came up for me to do the Vipassana. And the Vipassana, it resonates with what I'm doing. It's Vipassana focuses or brings the awareness into the physical sensations of the body. It's a Buddhist meditation. So I went on a 10-day silent retreat where we were meditating for 11 hours a day into the sensations of the body. And then by day 5, started experiencing myself as the inner observer. Like I am in my body, but I'm not my body. I'm in this world and not of this world. As the observer, another thing that started happening, and this is simply through physical awareness, that this insight just suddenly comes in. Another thing that started happening there on day 5 is again this opening of this awareness of the brilliance of nature. Right. Then, by day 8, By day 8 of meditating into the sensations of the body every day, for 11 hours a day, suddenly my whole body had this sensation that was filled with light, like whoosh. I did start purging and throwing up. I believe the body holds a lot of trauma still in it, always, as we hang around here on earth. Started purging, and then, oh my word, I was tuned. This light filled my body, but I was tuned into the universal vibration. I could feel the vibration in between my cells. And I went outside. This retreat center was or is in the most beautiful nature setting against a mountain and beautiful trees and a valley in front of us. Anyway, I went outside and I could feel everything. And everything had this translucent quality to it, like a brilliant, shining, translucent quality. And this was quite overwhelming, actually. I could feel this pulsing in and out of reality, like the veil of that, of the projection, the projection of our world, and that we are all just energy. And I felt this other dimension of being, and it totally makes sense to me what the heaven on earth is. It's a vibration that happens through our bodies. It's also very overwhelming. Again, it's like seeing a little bit more of God's face, of what's actually our condition is. And it's quite overwhelming. And I had a very strong feeling that this pulse and everything pulsing in and out of reality, everything so beautiful. Just want to cry. It's so beautiful, overwhelmingly beautiful and brilliant and perfect and well planned and put together and just perfect. And that this pulse, this reflection, I felt that if I would let go into that pulse, then I would dissipate. And I really felt like I would dissipate. I also had this very overwhelming feeling of it, like actually too much for me. Thank you for showing this to me. Well, I'm glad that I've come this far, that I can see this, but I'm like, whoa. Again, the consciousness needs some getting accustomed to it. It's a little bit overwhelming. There's like a little bit of like an ego death happening. I was scared I'm gonna die, like disappear. Um, but yeah, I brought myself back into more of a condensed experience by tying my hair in a bun. I tell you, I was like tripping. I was tripping for hours. It felt like I was tripping. It felt like I was tripping on mushrooms. It literally felt like I'd had 4 grams of mushrooms, but I hadn't had the mushrooms. And the nice thing is, often one has these wonderful plant medicine journeys, and you tell people afterwards of this fantastic journey and insights one had, and then you think, oh yeah, well, I was on plant medicine, I was high. And now the good thing here is I was flipping tripping balls. I was tripping. I was seeing like the new dimension. I was like pulsing in and out through the veil. I was like, oh. But I was completely sober. I had meditated into this understanding. Yeah, and then this bliss state lasted for days. Oh my word, even when I came back, I would drive in my car. When I drove back in my car from that retreat, there were other people in the car with me and they were talking about, world issues and stuff. And then one can see that consciousness going runk, 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 tying itself into itself. And then it's not like I'm better than them, but one has a choice of what consciousness you play into. So I would drive and just tune into this like vibration in my hands, arms, and in my feet and my spine, and also my face. Like feel this vibration. Oh my word! And I'll drive through the mountains, and they will be like, yeah, yeah. Look at us! Look at us! Look how glorious these mountains are. I mean, this was my movie. I was as we drive past the trees, they're like, hallelujah. Look at this beautiful experience of being a tree. We stopped at a coffee shop and there was a little water stream. When I saw it, I can still feel that experience. I can still feel that experience of the brilliance of seeing the water. I started crying. It was so beautiful. Yes, and then when I came home, everything had this translucent quality to it. Weird. And I was very blissful. Like all is good. Everywhere I go out, meet people, I feel them. I feel their souls. I feel my connection with them. I care for them. Oh my word, it felt so good. And then I could feel me going out of that again, out of that state, and how the normal thought patterns of entrapping one in a certain way come in. And at the moment, I am practicing to turn on that vibration in the body again. I should meditate more every day. I'm working on it. But what I'm doing, which I'm really enjoying, is I'm teaching myself just to turn on this like buzz in my body, this buzz of awareness, and to keep reminding myself, you can up the volume, babes. You can up the volume. You can feel more. You can feel more. You can make the buzz, the internal awareness, stronger and stronger. Oof. And I'm practicing to walk around, to walk and talk and do with it. And when I do it, I'm looking at the mountains, beautiful mountains out here now. Things have that um, translucent, shining quality to it. Um, Luminous. Things are luminous. So the moment I see, oh, things are luminous, then I know I've tuned in far enough, tuned into the vibration of my body far enough. Okay? I'm also learning to, when I'm in public, not to, when I tune into my body, because sometimes in the beginning I would like every time I tune in, or have these like wobbles that I do sometimes when I make my videos. I have to like walk around like I'm normal without my body doing this all the time. So I have to learn to um, contain this inner flow, yet push up the volume. Then everything becomes beautiful and translucent. And I'm not sure where all of this is going, but I am trusting that I am on the path, like all of us are on the path of awakening. I am on the path of awakening, and what I am seeing thus far, I am happy to share and guide other people also into. And for me, it is very much a very simple path in a very simple way, very simply connecting to the body, and then the magic happens through grace.